CEO of PlayStation, Herman Hulst,
Let's
is
go.
talking about the fact that basically they want a lot more Concord. They want more live
What did I
service.
tell you, people? Gamester with another W. Didn't I tell you guys that Sony would push for more live service and subscription games? And I already know what the PlayStation fanboys are saying. Well, Sony, you won't be successful in doing that. How are you going to be able to compete with Fortnite and Call of Duty? But guess what? Sony is willing to take these gambles because you know why, guys? Because this is the only way they're going to be able to coexist within today's gaming landscape. They need that concurrent money. They're trying to go back to what they had during the PS3 by bringing out these multiplayer gaming experiences. So I guess, Porter Rock, I think PlayStation is dead to you because you don't like online games. Well, there you go. I bet you better go buy an Xbox because that's where most of the single-player games will be on. Gamester with another W. They out here want to bring out more Concords. Essentially what they're saying. I mean, you guys are just playing with the words. More live service and subscription games. But we already know that they're going to be failures because you people fail to even buy your own games. Unless Sony is trying to expand on the notion of putting these games on more platforms than just PC at this point, then maybe they might see some success. But by locking these games down to PlayStation 5 and PC, I'm telling you, it's not going to work, bro. Like, I get it. Helldivers 2 was a success. But at this point, I guess you could say that Sony has finally went full third party.
This game's with crappy microtransactions, battle passes, and cosmetic skins, and seasonal events. And to be honest, I'm frustrated. I feel like everybody's
PlayStation is dead. PlayStation is dead when in regards to single player games. This is the only way. I mean, if Nintendo can do it, then Sony should have no problem. I mean, they got Smash Bros, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Maker, 3D World, all Mario Bros Wonder, most of the Mario Party games. Even those are essentially live service and subscription games. Splatoon 2 and 3, Pokemon. I mean, you can play these games through the single player, but a lot of these games are very heavily focused on some form of online multiplayer, right? Can we all agree with that? Maybe not Pokemon as much, but still, you can still throw that into the argument. So if Nintendo has more multiplayer games that people will subscribe to play through their Nintendo Switch, then what is the problem with Sony not having their own multiplayer games like they had back in the days for people to pick up a PlayStation and do the same exact thing?
We're going to take a look at a lot of takes, people roasting this stupid official press release.
I don't think it's stupid. It's the only way Sony can exist. This is what you people don't understand, man. This is why when I told people 3 to 4 years ago that single-player games is dead when EA said there's no future in single-player games, this is exactly what I was referring to. I'm not saying that single-player games are completely dead. It's just a play of words. I'm essentially telling you that the emphasis is going to be more on online multiplayer. And if you guys notice, Sony's been trying to take single-player games and add multiplayer to them, like they did with Spider-Man, which got canceled, which they tried to do with Last of Us Part 2, which got canceled, and now we're hearing that they got a Horizon multiplayer game. But yet, you guys want to argue that, oh, Sony care about the single-player. No, they don't. Because to be honest with you, a lot of these single-player games that Sony has funded have all failed. Okay? Maybe besides Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok, but that has more to do with the fact that those games was cross-generation. And even then, Sony said, you know what? Still put the games on PC.
PlayStation.
But they care about exclusivity. They care about our feelings. Yeah, right. Keep believing that, man. Sony has gone third party. No different than Microsoft, except the only difference is you ponies don't want to accept that new, profound reality.
Just start with the short snippet. When I think of Sony Studios, when I think about the games that PlayStation...
When I think of PlayStation, I think of third party. Because the last time I checked, I liked the Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VII, Guys, Iron Hander, Bushido Blade. You know, those were some great exclusive games at the time. Games at the time. Gamester. Well, what's up, man? None of those games were exclusive. None of those games are made by Sony. Oh, yeah. You know what? You might be right.
Has been making, especially here for the last 2 console generations.
That's not true because I remember picking up a PS2 for Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, San Andreas at the time. I remember those are some real exclusives. Hey, buddy. You again? Those games are not exclusive. Those games are not made by Sony. You know what? You got a point. So you're trying to tell me I've been playing PlayStation consoles mostly for third party. Now I see why the problem is starting to happen. See, when Nintendo was struggling with their exclusive games at the time, all they did was still back a lot. Well, some of them, not all their titles, but they backed a lot of their titles. That's why Sony has a lot of success with the Nintendo Switch. They just had to completely get rid of the home console in favor for their portable one, which always was successful with Nintendo, but they always put the value into their own games. I remember people saying, oh, I like the N64, but there's a lack of third party, and Nintendo says either get in or get out. So right there tells you that Nintendo has always put their games first. Sony did not do that. Sony put third-party games, masqueraded them as if they were exclusive, and ain't none of them were exclusive because they were made by a third-party studio, and that's why you see Final Fantasy and all these other games elsewhere. I can pick up Chrono Cross for my Switch. I can pick it up for my Xbox because you know why? Ain't none of these games was exclusive, and the only reason why they was exclusive at the time because the N64 used cartridges and the Sega Saturn was a failure. There you go. Let's go.
The thing that gets me the most
let's
is
go.
the single-player experiences.
Oh, here we go.
The Uncharted's, the God of Wars, the crazy stuff like Bloodborne, the stories, the worlds that make me want to play it, to love it, to get that platinum trophy.
Bro, we haven't heard from an Uncharted game. I mean, you guys ain't even going to get one. I mean, you guys are going to have to wait till 2027 for an intergalactic game, which we all don't even know if it's going to be good or not. I mean, I think the Uncharted franchise is over. I think they can only do so much with that game. I think it's done.
I'm not excited about all these crappy live service games.
Well,
clearly,
I guess PlayStation is dead then to you, right?
That's what PlayStation is so obsessed with doubling down.
It's not that they're obsessed with it, you big dummy. It's the fact that that's how they're going to make their money. They need their money concurrently. See, this is what you people don't understand. All these false philosophies. Oh, they're making money off hardware. Or they're making money off these high-budget games that people ain't buying. All these emotions, all these feelings that you people have felt, right, that you have pushed into this community, obviously was a lie. Because if Sony was successful in making single-player games, then guess what? I would assume they would continue to want to push that. That's what a lot of the OG PlayStation fans would want, but that's because you guys are not confident in Sony making a game that could compete with Nintendo or Xbox in regards to multiplayer. That's all it is. You're not confident. It's so funny that you PlayStation fanboys came from the generation of PS2, which introduced online multiplayer, and now you guys are running and hiding because you know it ain't going to compete with a game that Microsoft owned, which happens to be Call of Duty.
And that's what they're actually talking about.
PlayStation's
so let's
dead.
Take a look at the statement and how everybody is already. But here is the part of it that I feel like is actually, honestly, I feel like this is a brilliant way of phrasing it. It just feels like it exists for a profit margin, that there's no actual passion behind it. And a lot of
that sounds exactly like your YouTube channel.
These games, especially Suicide Squad, Concord, X-Defiant, these are games that never felt like a project that people wanted to put out. It was more about the idea of, okay, how will this look in our stock portfolio?
I mean, I think most games are like that. I mean, how many Gears of War clones did we have back in the days, guys? I mean, it is what it is, bro. This is just something that happens all the time. Now, I will say that these games are definitely a lot worse than what the clones that we had back then, but still. I mean, they're trying to cater to a market of people that play these games like Overwatch, and you guys say, no, they copycats. I mean, this has been going on since the Xbox One and PS4 generation with games like, what is it, Battlebound or something like that?
Let's keep engagement numbers up. It never felt like an actual thing that anybody was really, really, really invested in. Oh, yeah. Also, Redfall, Marvel's Avengers, this stuff, all of these have been extremely expensive failures, a lot of times leading to the closures of the studios. It is wild to think that all of these have been not just bad bombs, but studio killers. And I want more of that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take a look at
because
the actual
it's worth the gamble.
Basically saying, okay,
it's worth it.
Sucks. I played 100 hours of it. God help me, I legitimately played 100 hours of it. I still don't know why.
See, what you guys don't understand. If Sony can hit one good game out of 10, he even goes as far to bring that up in this video, then that's worth the gamble. After Helldivers 2 success, which happens to be more successful on PC, expect more games. Sony is third party. Now you guys can't even argue if Sony's going to put their biggest and greatest games on PC now at this point. You guys are literally living in the generation of most Xbox One fanboys, and I can guarantee you by the time PlayStation 6 comes out, it's going to run Windows operating system, and on top of that, you're going to see games coming to Xbox. I can guarantee that. And y'all remember, you make sure that I'm the one and I get the credit because I'm tired of people taking my YouTube content and saying, oh, we came up with it first. No. I'm standing here today telling you when the PlayStation 6 come out, you will see Sony put more games on Xbox. You will see it. You will see.
I was trying to get the Platinum Trophy. It is weird that it's just gone. You can't play it for free. You can't pay to play it. You can't log in. You can't even look at your trophies anymore. It is just gone. And to me, that sucks. It's weird to think about the fact that so many of these live service games exist as long as they're convenient, and then they put into Fortnite way back when it was called Save the World. My point is the fact that it's weird that so many games just keep vanishing. Now, an important part about this is that, thankfully, they're not saying they want to make just Concord. They don't want to...
I mean, I think a lot of you fanboys are saying that. It's not that they're saying Concord. Essentially, you see, this is what happens with fake propaganda videos. I mean, I get it. It gets you the clicks. I get it. Okay, it's good for the algorithm. But the point is that they're trying to push more live services subscription games, and they're comparing every single live services subscription game to a game like Concord, right, which fails. So you guys have no confidence even in your own multiplayer games. I mean, at this point, you guys got to explain to me where you think Sony's going to be able to coexist in the future of gaming if they can't even have their own very own multiplayer game. And the best multiplayer games that they do have is Xbox on their platform.
Just
unbelievable, bro.
Keep making live service. They said, yes, we are going to continue to make single-player games. They'll continue to lose money. Yeah. So here's the thing. Inside the quote, it essentially says that what we're trying to do is solidify our operating base. We want to make our best spot in the industry. We want to continue to focus and develop live service titles, along with single-player story-driven games that our players want.
Wrong. Because a lot of those single-player games, I can guarantee you, will still continue to be remasters and remakes, bro. Sony is not going to be putting no $400 or $500 million games out. Intergalactic will be that test. And I'm telling you right now, if that game fails, you're going to start seeing games from PlayStation dropping on Xbox, bro. I'm telling you, man, this is already written in stone. Xbox is planning to drop games on PlayStation, and PlayStation is willing to drop games on Xbox. It's just the timing of it is not right now. So you guys going to milk this for another 2-3 years of content. But I already know when that year comes, you'll see. And I'll tell people, look, I was the first one. Gamester was the first one in this community that told us that Sony was going to put games on Xbox. Watch. Y'all gonna sit there and take my credit. Watch, I already know. It's cool.
And so what's interesting is that he said specifically the reason they keep doubling down on these live service games is because of the overwhelming success of Helldivers 2.
Which all was successful on PC.
I mean, that came out months ago. Every patch, every update, that still absolutely skyrockets in players. And I really
do think, I've heard people say that Helldivers 2 might not go to Xbox. I think it should. I personally think it should. I think Sony should not lock this game. I think it might even come. I really do. I don't think Sony wants to stop the money train. I mean, come on, bro. Like I told you guys, exclusivity doesn't matter, bro. And Helldivers 2, with how successful this game, I'm not saying I want it because I like it. I didn't even like, I bought it for PS5 and I didn't like it. And I returned it back. I bought it used because I didn't trust to see if this game was good. I'd rather play Earth Defense. But my point is this, though. If this game is successful, why would you want to lock it down to as few platforms as you can? Make the most money off it. This could be a huge hit on Xbox, which is only going to be more money for Sony to invest into games through your own ecosystem.
It's interesting that Helldivers 2 absolutely rocks. It is the most hell yeah game of all time. From the theme song to the silly emotes to the fun monsters we... Just cross your fingers and hope it pays off. Like, if we make 10 of these and one is a success, it'll pay off the 9 that failed.
But that's funny, because if Microsoft had that same attitude, y'all would sit there and say, Microsoft don't know how to run business. That's ridiculous. Microsoft only cares about their finances. They only care about their money. They don't care about the gamers. So you just admitted about what I just said at the beginning of this video, that Sony has no problem making out 10 games, 9 of them being failures, but as long as one is good, which doesn't benefit us, mind you, then we're all good. That's 9 failed games, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying, man. And you guys still have faith in gaming? Y'all still have faith in this?
That's clearly
Go back to your retro.
To do. That's clearly what all these companies are trying to do.
Oh, now it's everybody trying to do it. When it was Xbox doing it, oh, they were dead. right? But when Sony does it, oh, Sony can make 9 failures in a row and everything's fine. Bro, I'm sick and tired of your goddamn content, man. Like, I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of looking at this Dreamcast hat. I'm tired of looking at everything about this dude's channel, bro. It's ridiculous, bro. What are you even talking about?
In fact, even going back to that original, this list of games, X-Defiant was supposed to be the Call of Duty killer, and it wasn't. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League was obviously meant to be like,
and
hey,
PlayStation ain't gonna make no Halo killer, no Gears of War killer, no Call of Duty killer. Bro, y'all ain't gonna make no killer to no Diablo killer. Y'all not gonna make no killer game to what Microsoft has.
Here's a cool final chapter to the 3 era where you would get a game completely out of nowhere, like Left 4 Dead or Portal, or you get something like, oh, let's just make a straight...
here we go with the old days. Oh, you don't know, bruh. Old days was a different time. Okay, I'm sorry. Those people have gone. Those people that picked up the 360 were probably already 30 years old when they picked them up. What do you expect? And what's so funny, I love when people use this argument too. Oh, they just need to go back to making games like this, PS3 level graphics. Then what is the point of upgrading to hardware then? I'm sick and tired of people using this excuse. Oh, we just need to go back to making great games. I do agree with that. I'm not going to sit there in front and tell you that that's not what gaming shouldn't be about. But stop lying to yourself when you sit there and say, I picked up a Series X and a PS5 so I could play games that look like PS2, but they're good. No. I picked up a PS5 because I want to see the difference between the PS4. Because if that case, then you're essentially saying that the hardware doesn't mean anything and the games mean more than the hardware, which also means that what Microsoft's doing with Game Pass Ultimate is more beneficial to the gaming community. You just exposed yourself. You just said, oh, they need to go back to making games with this type of graphics, which is probably a good game, right? Why do I need a PS5 to play a game like this? I can play this game on a PS3. I can play this game on a PS4. So you essentially just admitted that the hardware doesn't make the gamer, the games do. Thank you. Exposed. Game still with another W.
God of War knockoff with Heavenly Sword or whatever.
Let's go.
You used to get games that constantly tried to not just be new and different, but even when it came to indie games, Fez, Puppeteer, you were constantly getting games that were good and fun and different.
And what's funny, nobody supported those games, but they're good though.
One of my favorite games of this year, I just finished platinuming it, was Fantasian Neo Dimension. I did every quest, I beat every boss, I did New Game Plus.
You see that, guys? Look what type of graphics that we have to go back to. Why do I need a PS5 for this? Why do I need a PS6 to play something like this? Why do I need a PlayStation 7 to play a game that looks like this? I'm not dismissing the game. I'm not talking poorly about the game. All I'm saying, you don't need powerful hardware to play this game. If this is the type of logic that you're saying, and this is why I'm trying to tell you that consoles will cease to exist in the natural fashion that you guys know and love. Because you just proved to us that it's not about the graphics. Well, if it's not about the graphics, then why do I have to have a PS5 to play something that looks like this? You already know when you buy a next console, it's just like this. It's like me buying a Super Nintendo and buying an NES game. I bought the Super Nintendo because I want to see more colors. I bought the Super Nintendo because I want to see higher sprites. I bought the Super Nintendo because I wanted to do things that the NES couldn't. That's like me buying a Nintendo 64 and still playing 2D games that look like sprites. Like, you're stupid, bro. People pick up a next-gen console because they want the next-gen console to do what the previous console couldn't do. That is facts. It's been like that since the beginning, and I'm sick and tired of people using it. Oh, it's about the good quality games. Yeah, I agree. But I don't want to look at no PS2 game if I spend $500 on the next-gen system. I'll just go play my PS2, dummy.
I did every dungeon. I got the platinum.
Yay!
And I loved it. I loved it. 10 out of 10 loved it. And I feel like the reason why is because it's created by Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, and it feels like classic Final Fantasy. It's a game that feels
different. But I don't need a PS4 or PS5 to play this game. You just said it. I could play this on a PS3.
It feels heartfelt. It feels very, very raw. I loved that game because it felt so different. It felt so innovative. It felt like it was trying to just be the best damn game you've ever played. And screw if it's sales or the budget. It literally just cared about being the best damn game.
I mean, Microsoft does that all the time, and yet y'all still call them a failure. So, I guess Concord felt the same way. But y'all sit there and said that he made a crappy game. He felt that his game was better than Overwatch, and y'all sit there and told him, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about.
Essentially what I'm saying is less live service, more Fantasian.
But, nah, I'm going to disagree because look at it, bro. See, this is where you don't know what you're talking about, bro. See, I'm you know what's funny? Everybody thinks that I'm in agreement with the casual. I'm not. I do agree with you I do like multiplayer, but I do agree with you to some extent. But this is where you're wrong, Dream. The money is coming from who, guys? Fortnite, GTA, Apex, Red Dead Redemption 2, the heavy multiplayer games. Y'all know that. GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto didn't blow up until they added that multiplayer. Y'all know this. Grand Theft Auto was always popular, but that multiplayer brought it to a whole nother level. NBA 2K, My Park. People don't even play the heads up no more, bro. I was trying to search it on my friend's console. We trying to play a heads up match online. We couldn't even find a game. Everybody's playing My Park, bruh. Nobody cares. Everybody's playing the online. That's why Sony's trying to cater it to, because that's where all the money's at. Because if people cared about single player, then how come nobody picked up Astrobot? Did I say that? Did I hurt somebody's feelings? Then why is Astrobot sitting at 1.5 million if people cared so much about these games with love and passion, right? Exactly. Nobody bought them. So it shows you that they ain't that many hardcore or they ain't that many old school gamers still playing, because the old school gamers that were playing back then, PS2, PS3, they were probably 30, 40 years old, and they old. They weren't about changing their diapers. They ain't worried about this console war garbage, especially with these trash games. I'm sick and tired of reiterating the same point to these fools, bro. When are you guys going to get it? Your era is over. Go back and listen to your Run DMC. I don't like this music. It ain't no real hip-hop. Go back, bruh. You're too old for the gaming industry. It's you adapt. If you can't beat them, join them. Well, unfortunately, I'm not. I'm just going to do what I want. I'm not joining anybody. These games suck. You just admitted that there's no reason for a company to make a new console if you want to play games that look like PS3 and PS4 games. You just proved that to us. What is the point of a PS6 and a 7 to play a game like this that you're showing right now? I don't need no hardware for this. I play this on a PS2 for crying. They need to start making games back for the PS2. This is ridiculous, man. I'm telling you, man, you guys are living in the Stone Age. As far as I'm concerned, I'm an old school gamer, so I understand the frustrations. But at the same time, these companies are not going to cater to you. Sorry.
These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. How do you guys feel about the current state of PlayStation?
Because you said that people cared about single-player games, and if they did, then Astrobot would have sold more than Black Myth Wukong. Well, Black Myth Wukong is a single-player, but still, mostly due to PC. So even console gamers are starting. It's so funny because console gamers used to buy more games than PC gamers. Now PC gamers are buying more games than console gamers. They bought Helldivers 2. They bought Black Myth Wukong. I mean, Astrobot probably sell better on PC than it will on PlayStation at this point. PlayStation gamers are the new PC wannabes. You're doing all the games. Oh, we're playing Rust. We're playing Ark. Console gamers ain't nothing but PC light gamers. They want the PC experience. They want the Call of Duties, the NBA, because that's what people do on their PCs. The League of Legends. That's what console gamers have become. Console gamers have been reformed into the new audience of PC. It's mostly consoles is PC for dummies. That's all it is. Oh, we want those same experiences, but we don't know how to get it, so we just stick to console. But we'll still play the same games though. There you go. That's what console gamers have become. You guys are the new PC gamer wannabes. You guys do no longer have any influence in gaming. Esports is all PC. Pro players and Street Fighter say, I don't want to play on console PS5. I want the PC version because of less input lag. Console gaming is done. You have no influences anymore. I remember when Game Battles, SOCOM Battles came out, it was consoles, PS2, 360 for competitive gaming. It ain't that no more. It's on PC now. You want to compete in esports, you gotta get a PC. Have you noticed that every single top player plays on a PC? What top player plays on a console? Even Punk the God in Street Fighter went from PS4 to PC. He don't even play on console no more. I try to tell you, man, you guys are living in the Stone Age, man. But hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, man, this dude don't know what he's talking about. You're a Stone Age gamer. Things will never go back to what they used to. And Sony's doing this for a reason because they need that money. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, take care.